Hello everybody and welcome to a new video. What happened to my throat? It's offline today, guys. We have a new video about Summoner's War. Today we're gonna have a look at the top 5 light, not 5 units that need a buff. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I'm gonna say this straight away. I feel like Comptoz has done a really good job buffing LD nat 5s. A lot of LDs are actually pretty usable, and hey, they might not be perfect for RTA, but I'm gonna consider every area of the game in this specific video, and I'm gonna mention why I don't think some units should be buffed. Some of the units might need a buff, but they need to be careful how they buff them, because they're decent already. If they buff them too much, they're gonna become broken. But I feel like they've been doing a decent job in the balance patches to buff LD nat 5s. Hopefully, you know, they keep on doing that, and I think these units are the ones that need the buff the most. I feel like some of them can still be usable, but I think they need the most out of the light nat 5s. They need the most buff. Guys, before getting to the video, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It is free, and support the channel a whole lot. So if you can, please guys, hit that button. It really helps. Alright, light nat 5s, I don't have any of these, so I'm not biased at all, guys. I'm gonna say that the first unit that, in my opinion, need a buff, although this unit also can be usable in Siege, I feel, but it needs a really good setup to actually work decently. I think it's Shazam. Shazam with obviously he has an AoE like every single beast monks, and then to increase their chance of landing glancing hit for 2 turns with a 75% chance, and all allies counter attack. So you get the counter buff AoE to your allies, and also the glancing debuff on the opponent, meaning the opponent not gonna do that much damage, and your allies are all gonna counter. He has the heal, the cleansing skill 2, and he has a defense break on skill 1, I'm pretty sure. So the skill set is not terrible. The problem is you need to set him up really well. If you consider the like unit like Yon Hong, she has her own strip, she has this attack by increase for 2 units, for 1 unit and herself. She has the heal, she has pretty good damage, she has the strip. You know, she can set herself up by herself. What am I saying? Anyway, Shazam needs a good setup. It needs a stripper, because if the opponent has a Vusa, you don't have a stripper, the counter is not gonna do that much. It's extra damage, but it's not gonna do that much. So I feel like Shazam could use a little buff, maybe a low chance of stripping, although the dark one already stripped, so I don't think they wanna give too many strip to the unit. I feel like it's usable. And I think if they give him a strip, he's gonna become pretty strong, because honestly the counter AoE is actually pretty good. But I feel like it could use a little buff. The defense break on skill 1 is actually the better one of the beast monks, but again, I feel like it could use a little bit of a buff. Not terrible unit, definitely not usable in RTA, not really, because there is a lot of immunity monsters, and his base speed is pretty low. But in Siege defense it can be usable, in my opinion, also because there is like perna that strips on skill 1 and skill 2 on a 2-turn cooldown, so it's usable, but it could use a little buff. Alright, number 4 in the list. Now I feel this unit is pretty decent for arena defense, but honestly if you put heal block on the opponents, is gonna be useless. So it can be really annoying because it heals a lot depending on the stacks it gets. Obviously it works like Bulwark, so stacks, buffs on the opponent side, you get stacks. The more stacks you get, the more it heals. It strips on skill 1 and so on, but that's all it does. It heals. It doesn't do that much damage. If you compare him with Bulwark get the 5 stacks. Bulwark is gonna do a lot of damage. 50% of the opponent damage, HP as damage is gonna be really high damage, and also Bulwark heals. So Gulnir probably needs a buff, maybe something that goes through the heal block, maybe something else, because he does his job really well. He can heal a lot. It can be really annoying because you might not be able to kill the opponent at all because he heals a lot, but that's all he does really. The attack speed of Lemose, kill content, 33 speed lead, but I don't think he's really good in siege defense anyway. On siege offense, maybe siege offense, so you get a lot of sustain, but I feel like he needs a rework. Honestly, I don't like him. Arena defense, he might be decent, but overall, if you put here block on the opponent team, he's just gonna sit there and do nothing. So I feel like, in my opinion, Gardner needs a little buff. Alright, nice. Number 3 on the list. I can talk today. I apologize, guys. My bad. Number 3 in the list. Okay, also, guys, is no particular order in this list. I'm saying number 3, but in my opinion, they all pretty much at the same level. They need the buff, a little buff. But number 3 in the list, Talisman. I feel like he has a cool skill set. I feel like his skill 2 is pretty good, like Water Striker. The Water Striker though has an insane passive. So Water Striker cuts in if he doesn't go first. If he has 0 attack bar, you attack him, he has the passive up, he's gonna move again. So Water Striker is gonna have skill 2 available very often. This guy doesn't get attack bar, so he's gonna have these available every 3 turns. The damage, the skill 3, the nuke basically increase your attack power for 2 turns, inflict damage to ignore all damage reduction effects, gain a turn instantly if the enemy gets defeated from this attack. 4 turn cooldown. Yeah, I mean, it's cool and all, but I don't know how well it's gonna work because his base speed is gonna need an insane setup for him to work. It's a single target apparently, so it is, right? Increase your attack power for 2 turns, inflicts damage, ignores all damage reduction effects. So it doesn't say it attacks all enemies, right? So it's a single target, 4 turn cooldown, you just get attack power, attack buff. Single target gets another turn if he kills something, which is good because he will get this up. But I feel like if he got the speed buff as well, at least it would be better because then this scales on artifacts by speed even more, it would do more damage and so on. I feel like he would need a little buff. I don't know what I would buff him with, I don't know what I would give him as a buff, but I feel like this, because his base speed is not great, his base defense is really low, so if he gets hit he's probably gonna die. I feel like he needs a little buff. People complaining about him asking for a buff, I don't think they're wrong. He's a damage dealer, but I don't think he's, I don't even know the multiplier in skill 3, my bad. But guys, I can't talk today, I apologize for that. Alright, that was number 3. Number 2 in my list, and now like at this point it kinda go hard for me to actually choose units to get a buff. In my opinion though, Dorothy could use a buff. Attack type unit, pretty low base stats, HP is decent, the attack is decently high, but the defense is really low, the speed is kinda low, and she decreases AoE a 15% HP beside herself. Afterwards, attack all enemies to inflict great damage in proportion to the destroyed HP. So I don't know how the multiplier works, I don't know if she does that good of damage. I've never seen this unit being used, never ever seen Dorothy being used. In siege defense, never seen it. Arena defense, never seen it. RTA, never seen it. Or offense, or any streamer, never seen this unit being used. Skill 2 has a branding effect, branding debuff, and AoE. I think attack the enemy is a single target 3 times and leave a branding effect on them. The cooldown time of distraction will be decreased by 1 turn each whenever you attack the target under harmful effect. So this will decrease the cooldown and so on. But overall, I feel like the water one is 10 times better, the dark one is 10 times better. Probably Coco is 10 times better than Dorothy. So I feel like Dorothy really needs a buff. In my opinion, she needs a buff. Alright, number one in the list, so we don't make this video too long. And now here, actually number 5, it should be the other way around. I feel like the number 1 was Shazam actually. The last unit in the list, I don't really know if these units need a buff. Maybe a little buff. I wasn't sure about it, but I put this unit in the list. Let me know in the comment below if you agree with it. Same A might need a little buff. I know the passive is not too bad because limit. So the defense break they apply on your team, it can be just 1 turn. So as soon as your team gets a turn, that defense break is gone. If they put slow debuff for 2 turns, that's gonna be 1 turn also. Any debuff is gonna be for 1 turn, excluding bosses, whatever, and bombs though. The bomb don't apply obviously, because otherwise you know, she would hurt her team instead of actually helping. The let recover HP by 10% per harmful effect granted on the target at the start of the ally's turn. So not only she kinda cleanse, she's gonna also heal. However, this effect is not cumulated. Okay. Also, she has the revive, and that the unit can use skill on a free turn cooldown, and skill 1 strips. I don't think this unit is terrible. She could use a little buff, just a tiny buff. I think she could be actually pretty decent. The revive is a pretty good mechanic, pretty cool mechanic. The skill 3 is not bad. Sorry, the passive is not bad in my opinion. But overall, I think she could use a tiny little buff, and she would be actually decent. Now that was the top list. I'm gonna say that these units might need a buff, although she decreases cooldown pretty often because of the passive and the skill 3. So I don't know if you buff a unit that decreases the cooldown on your whole team pretty often. I think it would break this. Also guys, I did include these 2 units in the list because they're fairly new. This especially is fairly new. I don't think it needs a buff anyway, but I didn't see enough of it. This guy also looks pretty okay. Isis, in my opinion, I don't see her used ever. I think she'll be insanely good for TOA hell. I feel like if the opponent don't have immunity monsters, she could be really good because of the passive. A lot of units have passive because of the silence for 2 turn. I feel like she's, I don't know, I don't wanna get her come to us. Not gonna lie, she's not one of the best, but I feel like it's kinda underrated in my opinion. Other units, I don't think they need a buff, to be honest with you, because I feel like all the units do their job really well, in my opinion. Anyway guys, that was it for the list. Let me know in the comment below what you think. I apologize for not speaking English in this video. But yeah guys, thank you so much for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye everybody, take care guys, stay safe, bye.